What are your thoughts on the state of the industry, Eva? Why is this happening, and how much longer is this going to happen for?
I try to think of the industry as kind of like a phoenix. Okay, so it's reached the end of this kind of generation has reached the end of its time frame. So what it's doing is it's killing off the excess. All these companies, these big companies, they've gotten too big to the point where they're not being able to financially provide. And some can, some don't. But the big thing is that a lot of the companies are, whether they're public companies or not, they have a lot of shareholders and a bunch of other people they have to answer to. And ultimately it comes down to they want more money. And the best way to do that is to get rid of all the people that are costing the company. Now, on the other side of the coin, it is opening up opportunities for these already experienced people. Mostly it's seniors that I'm noticing that are also being laid off. It gives them an opportunity to encroach on the path of opening their own studio. So what's happening now, more so than before, is indie studios are skyrocketing. There are amazing games coming out. And what's happening in the industry right now is everybody's noticing that these good games are coming out and they don't have massive studios. They don't have massive budgets. And they're realizing, hey, you don't need much to make a good game. And these layoffs, they're negative. They hurt a lot of people and they put a lot of people possibly out of living arrangements. And it's saddening, but all of us have to lift each other up. And I just see a positive for the indie side, but a negative for AAA. Because I kind of think AAA is going to find its way out the door because it's not financially feasible anymore. We can't be spending millions of dollars in a budget just to get very little profit, because you have a lot of the market you have to hit, and pricing on games are expensive now.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with what you say. It's certainly the way I see the industry going this year, and I think it already started last year, to be honest. Even if I just look at the clients that we would work with in our portfolio, typically there's a greater migration towards smaller, more nimble indie studios, and that trend is going to continue for the reasons that you mentioned, I believe. And I think what's also worth mentioning, Eva, one thing that I'm really I'm always really, really pleased to see and hear from people is the good news stories, right? Because the media has an unfortunate habit of only posting about all the negative things happening in our industry, but there's very few headlines around indie studios popping up and good news stories. I could go on LinkedIn today and say that actually what I'm seeing is the opposite to what some of the media are portraying. Like, hiring is increasing. Like, this time last year, we had fewer roles. We had fewer clients that were hiring fewer people. That's a fact. But that's not in the news because that doesn't sell papers or that doesn't sell clicks, right? It's just the negative stuff.
Yeah, so it's negativity draws a crowd. People are attracted to negativity for some reason. And it's not a news headline. I mean, people are less likely to look at something super positive. But whenever I see a layoff, yeah, it's sad. But at the same time, I treat it as an opportunity for, people to either continue to grow or open up a new company. And as I was going through my own resources, I'm noticing a lot of really, really promising games coming out from these new studios. And it gives people that maybe were in the shadows of these big companies the chance to shine.